Welcome to A Second Look. I'm Kevin Wilson, Ohio District President. This is my weekly devotion for our congregations based on the scripture passages from this past weekend. This week we're considering the epistle reading, specifically 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. No temptation has overcome you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will also provide the way to escape, that you may be able to endure it. Isolation makes it more difficult for Christians to overcome temptation. And so it makes sense that one of the ways God helps us deal with temptation is by placing us in community. We're isolated as Christians in a couple different ways. The first way is the most common, to isolate by not involving ourselves in worship or Bible study, by ceasing to participate in service or mission outreach, even by avoiding friends and family who are Christians. The second way of isolation is more personal, and it's when we face temptations, but we don't share that with anyone else. We keep it to ourselves. Now, the second one can be especially difficult because we could be in the midst of a congregation and still feel isolated because we can't or won't share whatever temptation we're facing. This can lead us to start thinking that what we're facing is unique. And anytime we think our temptation is unique, we'll feel worse because then there's a sense of hopelessness that will sink in and say, I am alone and I don't know how to deal with it. No one's had to deal with this. How can I face this temptation? I think that's one of the reasons the Apostle Paul has this teaching in 1 Corinthians 10. Notice he says that no temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. This can break the spell of isolation, of personal isolation. In fact, others have faced this temptation. Who knows how many, countless others, over a millennium, have faced this same temptation. God has got people through this temptation. We have others we could find if we were to pray about it and ask God for guidance and to be able to connect us to people who have faced this kind of temptation. And likewise, we're told that God will provide a way out, provide opportunity, that we can deal with these temptations, not succumb to them. That's also one reason God has given us community, so we don't have to walk alone as we're facing such a challenge as temptation. We're able to escape that temptation in part because we don't escape alone. So Christian community is vitally important when it comes to God helping us through our temptations. Until next week, the Lord bless and guide.